A film with Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam, Pedro Pascal, Garrett Hedlund, and Oscar Isaac. This might as well be Expendables 4, with Ben Affleck leading the pack because he's the oldest. 5 former Special Forces operatives reunite to plan a heist in a sparsely populated multi-border zone of South America. Hey everybody, Justin here, and I love to watch movies, and if you guys love to watch movies too, you guys are in the right spot. Consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I know a lot of people say smash that subscribe button. Would that work instead? Triple Frontier is the newest Netflix original film that is directed by J.C. Chandor, who also directed All Is Lost and A Most Violent Year, which also did star Oscar Isaac. Both great films. Check those films out if you have not seen them. I have not seen any of the trailers for this movie. I don't even know what this film was about before I saw it. But it was released in theaters and also on Netflix on a Wednesday. So I decided to check it out just off this cast. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad of Triple Frontier. I don't know why I think of Western when I hear Triple Frontier. With many heist movies just like this, there is a lot of suspenseful moments throughout the film, and this film does a great job of setting up our initial plot and allowing for consequences to fall into place with heavy suspense moments. Many times throughout this film, I was glued to the screen wondering what is going to happen to our main stars. There's a beginning where they talk about our plan and, getting the group together, and then eventually they go to this place to try to steal money. You all see it in the trailer, and after they steal the money, there is a lot of consequences in place for these characters. So the film does a great job of keeping that suspense, allowing for it to have consequences throughout. And we're watching them trying to fight and survive to keep all this money, a lot of money in here that they want to bring home for themselves. And that suspense of people chasing them and against the clock definitely is going through this movie. I think a lot of great suspenseful movies and heist movies like this, the best part of suspenseful scenes is when they're against the clock and there's people headed towards them and they have to get what they need and get out. A lot of great scenes like that in the early parts of the movie, and it eventually becomes a fight for survival while also carrying this cash. This is much more of a heist movie rather than an action movie. There is a lot of action in here. It is more focused on being a heist film, setting up a plan and getting the group together. Just like every other heist film, like the Ocean's movies and the Fast and the Furious movies, definitely sticks to the cliches of being a heist movie. This film is also shot very great. It reminds me a lot of Sicario, puts you in the action, and there's a lot of great shots of the landscapes of South America. It definitely utilizes the environment as a way to move the story further, which I thought was pretty impressive. I was overall impressed with how this film looked. The acting in here is pretty good as well. We have a large group of stars from Ben Affleck to Oscar Isaac. Garrett Hedlund is in this movie as well. I was pretty impressed with the stars they did get in this movie, but it does leave me to some issues. They don't have many characteristics for them. They all seem kind of just generic. They've been friends for many years. They've done a lot of great things, but I just can't find something about these characters that stand out from the other. I don't even remember a couple of their names, to be honest. They're just that flat where they really don't do much to carry this movie. There's no emotional weight to the characters. There's no times where I'm rooting for these characters. They don't have that big action scene to make their scenes memorable. They do fine in their roles. The acting is good. I like the cast. It's stacked in this movie, but there isn't many moments for these characters to really shine. They go through the movie, they have their story, they have their action scenes, they're fit for the role, they look good, they act great, but they just don't have that emotional weight, that character, that really deep characteristic, or even a real memorable scene for me to think that these are amazing characters. They just kind of fly by the movie, and I'm totally fine with that, but I would like to see a little more emotional weight or some deep characteristics for these characters. I just did not get that. For these people who have a really specific skill set, they're really loosey-goosey with their money, and a couple of decisions in this movie, what they want to do with their money, leads to some really bad consequences for them. And I was really shocked that these people who are so focused on getting this money and getting home, how they handled their money. I was a bit confused on the decision on the writing for this movie. They just did not care about the money at times, and it led to certain things happening in this movie that I'm not going to spoil for anybody, but they decided to do something with the money, and this is what happens. So now you have to deal with that consequence. I would have liked to see them, treat the money just a little nicer, because it was going to go a long way for them in the end. So my overall score for Triple Frontier. It's a good film. I think that the heist moments are really suspenseful, and the consequences throughout for that heist, I think, are played out very nicely, but there's not a lot of emotional weight to the characters. Some of the characters really don't stand out amongst this group. They do feel like good friends, but I wanted to see a little more from these characters. They're just a little too loosey-goosey with that money. They should have kept on it a little closer, and we wouldn't have certain problems toward the end of the film. I'm gonna go ahead and give Triple Frontier a B-. Thank you guys for checking my review for Triple Frontier, the new Netflix original film. You can also check out more Netflix original movie reviews and television reviews right over here in my most recent video as well. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. My name is JustinWatchesMovies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.